Athena's Fortune happens to be the name of 3 distinct parts of Sea of Thieves lore. First is the trading company, which all pirate legends belong to. Second is a novel written by Chris Alcock, which a lot of the information featured in this video is from. And lastly, the final ship captained by the Pirate Lord. This week we'll be focusing on all 3 things, but mainly looking at the trading company. So let's begin. Athena's Fortune and its origins are very much entwined with the founder, Ramsay Singh. Many of you will know him as the Pirate Lord. Whilst his story predates the creation of the company, it would be befitting of its own lengthy video. In the Athena's Fortune novel, around 2 years after the Sea of Thieves discovery, Ramsay is almost killed at Golden Sands Outpost after a meeting proposed by him. The idea is that Ramsay would unite the pirates of the Sea of Thieves to sail under one rule, his rule. But before the conclusion to that meeting is reached, the Kraken attacks the outpost. In the skirmish that follows, many ships are lost, and Ramsay is thought to be killed. In truth, he is betrayed by his crewmate Rathbone, who wants his skeleton keys in order to unlock Ramsay's fortune for himself. Luckily, the merfolk delivered Ramsay to Golden Sands, in turn saving his life. Despite not everyone agreeing with Ramsay's proposition, his words struck a chord with a great many pirates across the Sea of Thieves. This included his crewmates, Mercia and Shan, along with Eli Slay and Captain Briggsy. They saw what could be accomplished when working together, and the Kraken attack really hit home about how dangerous the Sea of Thieves could be. An alliance was formed, with the ships sailing under one flag. Sometimes the members would sail on one vessel, sometimes in a fleet. This could be together or miles and miles apart for many weeks. Eventually, their renown grew, and more pirates began to seek an alliance with Ramsay and co. It wouldn't just attract well-meaning pirates, some joined to take advantage of the numbers, taking riches for themselves. Ramsay could not tolerate thieving from members of the alliance, and those caught breaking the rules were dismissed. Many pirates, like Captain Greymarrow, believed that to live the pirate's life was that anything and anyone was fair game. Those pirates soon learned not to attack one of their ships, for a slight against one was a slight against all. Although one pirate would do so for no fear of retribution, but that is a tale for another time. As a group, the members became masters of the Sea of Thieves, even going so far to obtain items of great power. The artifacts could calm waters, raise shipwrecks, or heal wounds faster. Mercia, a scholar in her own right, was keen to study these artifacts in great length. Eventually, she would pass away, slumped over her desk as her blonde hair had greyed with age. She left Ramsay a parting gift, a necklace bearing the Reaper's mark, which Ramsay would sport for years to come. Shan retired from a life at sea, for he was already over 50 when the Sea of Thieves was discovered. He, a tinkerer by nature, continued to do so many years after retirement. Our story picks up over 20 years after the Sea of Thieves was rediscovered and could be as recent as 8 years before the events of the game. The period from rediscovery to the start of the game is roughly 40 years. Ramsay, now old and greying, was stood at the helm of his galleon. He turns to crack a joke to Mercia and then to Shan. Then he realised neither was there. It was at this point Ramsay realised he didn't sail with his friends, but a crew. His crew was capable and loyal, but they called him Captain, not Ramsay. For they knew him as the Pirate Lord, a legend of the Sea of Thieves. A legend to be respected and admired. Someone they'd never dare to share a drink with. It was then Ramsay realised it was time to retire. I've sailed the length and breadth of the Sea of Thieves. I've left footprints on every island and fought off pirates, sharks and krakens. I've cracked riddles and dodged traps and plundered everything from teacups to tiaras. There is no pirate more famous, more feared and more ferocious than I, but if you can't share the memories with your friends in a tavern afterward, none of it matters. If you can't boast or brag about it, can't share stories and pass on what you've learned, what's the point in having a reputation? Well, I'm going to do something about that. The Pirate Lord knew there and then what he was to do. He took his galleon, a ship with scarlet and silver sails, adorned with a logo associated with him, and crashed it into a cave. The cave and ship are the very same we see in the game now. The ship was called Athena's Fortune. While the exact circumstances of Ramsay's death and transformation is unclear, many pirates would come to receive the blessing of Athena's Fortune. Ramsay would also set up the Tavern of Legends to sell gear plundered by his years on the sea and voyages to test his pirate legends. To be a member of Athena's Fortune, you had to become a legendary pirate. Nowadays, this is done by building a reputation with any of the 5 other trading companies. Athena's Fortune would be instrumental in the defeat of Captain Flameheart, as they provided the much needed bulk of the good guy's forces during the final battle with him, but ultimately he would fall at the hands of his former crewmate Duke. They would later come to police the trading companies, setting rules allowing for them to exist on the Sea of Thieves, which is the situation observed when the events of the game begin. Athena's Fortune took a mostly hands-off approach with the affairs of the Sea of Thieves until 4 years after the maiden voyage, when Captain Flameheart began to regain his power. The Reaper's Bones were the only company in direct opposition to Athena's Fortune and did not play by their rules. The Pirate Lord called on prominent members of the company to help prevent the return of Flameheart, with Bell leading the effort for the most part. Athena's Fortune fought 3 major battles against the Reaper's Bones, following Golden Sands being attacked and shrouded in a green fog. Firstly, the Servant of the Flame sought to retrieve the Veil of the Ancients, an artifact capable of bridging the gap between the Sea of Thieves and the Sea of the Damned. This would culminate in the members of Athena's Fortune summoning the shrouded ghost from the Sea of the Damned, for it was in the shark's belly. Ultimately, it was secured by Athena's Fortune, but the stones powering the veil were missing. This extended the conflict and led to a race to get the stones. This, again, resulted in the stones being secured from the Reaper's Bones, and the veil was complete in Athena's Fortune's possession. Shortly after this, the two sides would fight for the fate of Golden Sands. Merrick summoned up those loyal to Athena's Fortune to help rid Golden Sands of the fog, whereas the Servant sent his Reapers to ensure the fog remained forever. In a community-wide battle, Golden Sands outpost was saved and the mist was dispelled. Some months later, the two sides would engage in the most important battle yet. The Servant of the Flame had put in place the means of resurrecting Captain Flameheart, but Athena's Fortune hatched a plan to prevent this. Their plan was, for Flameheart's return was inevitable, to seal him in the Sea of the Damned. This was via a painting and using Captain Pendragon's Sword of Souls as a conduit to channel his soul into it. Both sides gathered bewitching dolls needed for the ritual and captured sea forts around the map to enhance the power of these dolls. In the end, the Reaper's Bones delivered a crushing defeat, successfully resurrecting Flameheart and trapping Pendragon in the painting. Lastly, following the events of Return of the Damned, Athena's Fortune created the Guardians of Fortune. This was a sub-faction open to any pirate, legend or otherwise, who wished to defend the Sea of Thieves from the Servants of the Flame. To this day, the Guardians of Fortune and the Servants of the Flame are locked in outright war for the control over the Sea of Thieves. There are several key members in Athena's Fortune, but the Pirate Lord, Merrick and Pendragon all have extensive backstories that require their own episodes. Belle is the first on our list and we know the least about her. She's hundreds of years old, being an old ally of the Pirate Lord. She travels around on a buoy instead of a ship which can submerge itself. Belle has spent a long time in the Sea of the Damned, making her somewhat an expert on it. Her chief aims are to prevent Captain Flameheart from taking over the Sea of Thieves, as she believes him to be the chief of all evils. Belle has assisted the player crews in several of the main events in the 4th year of the story. Belle helped dispel the fog around the islands during the Shrouded Islands adventure. She organised the rescue of the Golden Sands residents during Forts of the Forgotten. Belle helped defeat the Shrouded Ghost in the Shrouded Deep adventure, then helped to secure one of the stones in Legend of the Veil. It doesn't stop there. She helped players track down and confront Merrick's killer in the Forsaken Hunter adventure. When Athena's Fortune journeyed to the Sea of the Damned to rescue Merrick, Belle uncovered information that prophesied the return of Captain Flameheart, and then assisted in the release of the Great Warrior into the Sea of the Damned. She attempted to stop the resurrection of Flameheart by tracking down and destroying Stitcher Jim, but was too late. Finally, her and Pendragon attempted to prevent Flameheart's soul from reaching his body, again failing to stop his return. Blind Bob is the next icon in the Athena's Fortune lineup. Bob is the resident clown found in the tavern and will proceed to tell jokes to any of the visitors. It's implied that Bob originally invented the Eye of Reach, but this information is contested, with Shan originally inventing it in the Athena's Fortune novel. Bob also stole some golden bananas from the infamous Bronzebeard. Where the bananas ended up is anyone's guess. Moving towards the end, we have the mysterious stranger, also known as George. George is the first character many players will meet when they reach the Sea of Thieves. He was the replacement for Rathbone, as revealed in the prologue of the Heart of Fire novel, and was present for the sinking of the Magpie's Wing. Many years later, around 1 year after the events of the game begin, he sends an unnamed crew on a quest to recover the Shroudbreaker and reach the fabled shores of gold. And that wraps up today's video. Sorry for the delay in getting this one out. We should be back again next week with a fairly short episode covering the Sea Dogs. Make sure to subscribe as to not miss out on that. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.